Game week 38, last prediction video of the season. We've made it here. It's over. Last week I got 6 points, taking me to a total of 202 points. Finally breaking 200 points. And the points that I get this week, I'm going to be making an end of the season sort of video, seeing what I predicted at the start of the year, compare it to the table that actually happened, and I'll put the points there. Okay, so we're going to start off with Bournemouth versus Leicester. So Bournemouth against City, they lost 3-1. Honestly, Bournemouth looked unmotivated. They lacked effort. They looked gassed at times as well. And I think that's because 8th place, I don't think no longer gets European competitions. And they sort of had no real motivation. I think 8th place doesn't get European competition no more because we lost to Crystal. So they get Europa now. And then there's Leicester, who beat Ipswich, winning 2-0. Vardy getting his 200th goal in his 500th game. So congratulations to Vardy. But the team as a whole woke up at the wrong time. They've been in pretty decent form now. But yeah, a little too late. For this matchup, Bournemouth haven't been the best. Leicester have been picking it up. Bournemouth have been struggling to score, but I don't think they lose to Leicester. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Fulham versus City. Fulham beat Brentford. Fulham won 3-2, and thanks to Harry Wilson once again coming in off the bench and scoring a goal. But again, the inconsistency continues from these guys. That's why I'm kind of scared for this game. They've been pretty shaky. They can upset City this game. As for City, they were good against Crystal. Honestly, wasn't disappointed with the performance. But we still lost in the FA Cup final, which sucks. That's 2 now in a row that we lost. But we were good against Bournemouth. Another important game. We needed those 3 points. The midfield finally looked decent. Could be because Bournemouth were just gassed, it looked like, or unmotivated. But I don't care. We take those 3 points. For this matchup, City versus Fulham. City have never lost to Fulham, and I'm hoping it doesn't change here. I don't think they're going to make it easy. I think Fulham is going to give it a go. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to City. Next up is Wolves versus Brentford. Wolves lost to Crystal 4-2. They had some decent chances, but they were always the second best team in the game. Also, don't know why they didn't play Cunha. He was on the bench. As for Brentford, they had a great game. They had a great game against Fulham, but it just wasn't enough. We also could have potentially saw Mbeumo's last game at the G-Tech, and he also missed the pen. He could have put the game away and won, gotten the 3 points. But recently, Wolves have been dropping in form. I think they lost their last 3, and Brentford just lost this one, but before that, they were in great form. I think Brentford can make a little comeback here. Wolves have been declining. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Brentford. Next up is Forest versus Chelsea. Forest, that was a way better performance compared to the recent games against West Ham, but they still struggled. They barely beat them by 1 goal. I do want to shout out Gibbs White. He had a great game in my opinion. As for Chelsea, they also barely won their game against United. The defenders connect to get the goal, but overall for Chelsea, they weren't that good. They weren't that good. They didn't look like they were hungry enough to get the 3 points. But honestly, Forest have also been quite shaky recently in terms of form. This is a very important game for both teams. They should both come out with, fire. I think Chelsea's going to play majority of the possession, and Forest is going to sit back and then counter. I think Chelsea have enough at the back to fend off Forest, and Chelsea, I think, will come out on top. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Next up is United versus Villa. First up, United. They actually played decent against Chelsea, but let's be honest, that doesn't matter. The real game is the game against Spurs in the Europa League final. My God, United is such a joke. They are such a joke team. I think this game has officially made United the joke team instead of Spurs from the Big Six. And then there's Villa, who beat Spurs, but that was always going to happen because Spurs, we'll get to them. We're focused on the Europa. They were always going to break through Spurs. They just took them a while, and they finally did. For this matchup, I don't know if United are even going to try. I feel like I would be so demotivated to do anything. I think there's going to be some subs going to be playing, bench players. I think Villa's going to win here. Villa need these 3 points as well. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Villa. Next up is Southampton versus Arsenal. Southampton lose to Everton, expected. Of course, they were going to freaking lose to Everton after taking the points away from us. Fuck them. And then there's Arsenal, who beat Newcastle 1-0. Honestly, don't think they deserved it. Raya was crazy. He was another level in this game. Raya really saved them from embarrassment. I really wanted Newcastle to win, but looking back at the table, I actually preferred Arsenal winning the game, because now Newcastle is also in the mix and potentially just makes more chaos. But for this matchup, I think Arsenal is going to win here. Of course, I think they're going to score 3. Southampton get 1, because they seem to always get at least 1 against Arsenal. So 3-1 to Arsenal. Next up is Newcastle versus Everton. Like I said, I think Newcastle deserved to get a win against Arsenal, but they lost. Isak was also missing. I did not know he was not going to start that game. And they still performed well. As for Everton, they win against Southampton in their last game in the Goodison Park. I don't know where they're going to go next, but they get the last win there. And they were great. It was a great game from Everton, not Southampton, but from Everton. And honestly, it could have been 5-0. For this matchup, Newcastle versus Everton, don't know if Isak is going to miss the game. Hopefully he does. But if either way, I think Newcastle's going to win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Newcastle. Next up is Liverpool versus Crystal. Liverpool, more sloppy defending, conceding 3 to Brighton, ultimately losing to Brighton as well. But I do want to give a shout out to a player, and that's Bradley. He was great. Got himself an assist. Nearly got another assist to Salah, but Salah didn't score the goal. Honestly, I think they're fine without Trent. They're about to get Frimpong as well. I think they're fine. Honestly, they could have done with just Bradley. I think the Frimpong signing wasn't necessary. Frimpong is more of a winger as well, so I think Bradley is a great player to have. And then there's Crystal. Congratulations to Crystal. They won the FA Cup. Literally scored one of their only 3 chances in the whole game. Doesn't matter. They won the game, and that's the first time they win a major trophy in a century, was it? I don't even know how long it was, but it was a long time. And then they also beat Wolves, even though they had a weaker side in the field, and they scored 4 on Wolves as well. I don't know who to give a shout out to in the Crystal team, so I'm gonna give a shout out to Glasner. Glasner is goated. He got the team flowing last season, the back half of the season, got them flowing. The start of this season, it wasn't as great, but again, he's got it flowing once again. Got them the FA Cup final, or the win, and now they're going to Europa. He is goated. And for this matchup, I think both teams are going to be up for it. Liverpool, last game in the Anfield for the season. Crystal are a worthy opponent to go out, try on. Crystal is going to want to go out with a bang, beating the champions of England. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think Crystal win here. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Crystal. Next up is Ipswich versus West Ham. Ipswich, whole lot of nothing. They were just doing nothing against Leicester. It was boring, honestly. And then West Ham, a lot better compared to the recent games against Forest this time. Bowen, beautiful goal, beautiful control, and then I think it's a half volley, whatever you want to call it. It was in the air. Beautiful goal. But for this matchup, both these teams suck. I think it's going to be a low scoring. Pretty boring game as well. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Spurs versus Brighton. Last game of this game week. They're all going to be played at the same time. So just last game on my list. Spurs had a defensive training session against Aston Villa. They really didn't do much. They were just defending the whole time. But that's the game that doesn't matter. The real game that matters is the Europa League final against United, and they come out as the winners. That's another congratulations in this video. 2 for 1. Spurs beating United, winning the Europa League final. Nobody can clown them anymore about not winning anything, which sucks for everybody else. But it's great for Spurs fans. They honestly deserve it. Do they? I don't know. I don't think they do. But yeah, it was just weird to see them beat United. Nobody really saw that coming. I feel like majority of the people thought United were going to win just because of the name. But Spurs have beaten them 3 times this season, and I think that was the 4th time they beat them. But yeah, I mean, the Spursy rule, it continues. You count them out, they win. You count them in, they're out. It doesn't matter. It's always here. And then there's Brighton. They finally beat Liverpool after their 4th try against them. beating them 3-2. And someone I want to shout out is Gruda. I feel like he had a great game. What did he get? An assist, I believe it was, or a goal? He got something. But other than that, he was also pretty well, looked lively. For this matchup, Spurs are not going to give a shit about this one. They don't care. They're 17th, but they're in Champions League. They'll have Champions League game. As for Brighton, I think they're going to try here in case 8th place does get European spots, because they are in 8th right now. They get this 3 points, they solidify it, and I mean, it's going to happen. 3-0 to Brighton. And those are my final predictions of the season for game week 38. Tell me what you guys think. Also, click one of these videos. It is a Manchester City stay or leave type of video. What I think if the player should leave or stay or get loaned or whatever else I have. Check it out. Otherwise, leave a like, subscribe, and peace.